Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Janicia, where I help you move from fear to faith. This video is part 2 of the series of how I moved from Florida to LA. Didn't have any money, no job, didn't know anybody, none of that. And I did it. I packed up my car and I took the 7-day road trip from Florida to LA and the whole process of what that entailed. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, please go back and watch that. I'll quickly recap it just a little bit. Basically, packed up everything, went through a whole process where I was delayed and didn't move when God told me to, got a confirmation, packed up, left, got pulled over by the police, was scared, the whole process, and a couple of other details that I'll leave out. I'll let you go ahead and watch part 1. But if you have watched it, then let's continue where we left off. So I finally got to LA, but nothing was as I expected. Like I said before, part 1, I broke down because I was like, oh crap, this is not a fairy tale. Faith is not a fairy tale. It's real life. It may feel like a dream. You may feel like a superhero, but you know, after you come out of that, it's like, oh, this is real life. So on the second day, I went to a church that was recommended to me from someone, and there I met a pastor who were my pastors the whole time I was there, and I love them. Once I was in LA, I started to be more of, I wouldn't say a coward, but I started to be more fearful and started to trust more in myself. I was like, okay, God, you got me here. Now it's up to me to sustain this thing or, you know, make something happen. At this point, after gas and food, I had a little over $1,000, and I decided that after 2 nights in an Airbnb that I was going to save my money and I was going to start sleeping in my car, and I became homeless. So I decided to stay in my car for about a month. And then when I started to trust in myself, basically God had opened doors where I would be able to stay somewhere. Like I said, I found my church, and the pastor connected me to someone who had a room for rent. And then also one of the ladies at the Airbnb was going to give me a great discount to stay for the month. She really liked me, and she was like, I'm gonna take this off. I really want to help you. I'll bring it down to a fraction of the price. How does this work for you? And I really loved that she did that. And then I also loved that I had that, you know, apartment to move into, but I wanted to save money and I didn't want to waste it on rent yet. So I said no to both of those options. So the lady with the Airbnb, I turned her down completely, went right back into my car. And then the apartment, I postponed that until another few weeks because I didn't want to pay the prorated rate. And so I had those opportunities, but I wanted to trust in myself because I wanted to keep my money. And I didn't have a job lined up yet, or at least one that paid enough. And then I refused to tell my family because of, you know, not looking dumb and wanting to be grown up and not really worry them, because I know that my family would not have me staying in my car. I left that part out, and I guess I led them to believe, I don't really remember saying this, but I guess I led them to believe that I was staying in Airbnbs, and they didn't really know how Airbnbs work or the prices. So I guess they thought I was like, oh, she got somewhere to stay. And just knowing that they would do whatever they could to help me is partially why I didn't tell them. In fact, my dad didn't even know I stayed in my car until about a year later, and he found out on YouTube because I posted a video, and it so happened to be that he was watching my channel, found out that I had a channel, and I had my grandmother was in the room, I had some cousins in the room, and they all decided to watch my video, and they decided to watch that video that said I was homeless. And they was looking at my dad like, so you got your daughter out here homeless? And I was like, oh no. I'm sorry he found out that way. Sorry, Dad. But yeah, I didn't tell him. I guess I had pride. I was trying to handle it on my own. I was trying to trust in myself. Yeah, I just was trying to figure it out on my own. So I lived in my car for a bit, and at this time, closer to the end of my 1 month in the car, I had 2 jobs by then, and I was still racking up my savings. And then at the start of the next month, I finally moved in with my roommates. They were amazing. Everything started kind of working out. Like, life was good. I got to finally work on music with other musical people, which was always a dream of mine. You know, meet some amazing people, work with some amazing producers. I met so many amazing friends that are lifelong friends for me, and if I didn't move for any other reason, it was to meet them, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life. I got to be on TV. I got to just do so much and experience so much that I wouldn't have experienced had I stayed in my comfort zone in Florida. Hey y'all, so I just wanted to pop in real quick and share something exciting that I have coming up. I get so many questions about the major leaps of faith that I took when I moved to Los Angeles and when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And so I just decided to do a little masterclass for the ladies on the 5 signs that God is calling you to take a leap of faith. So if you're interested in this training, I will leave the link down below in the description. And then 8 months into my move there, I started to hate my job. I was over it. I was done. And then I woke up and I was like, I know how to edit videos. I can get paid for this. So I started to put out posts and ads and stuff, and basically getting clients editing videos. So I quit my job and I started editing videos. Now in LA, it brought out a whole hustle mentality in me. Okay, I didn't have this in Florida. LA, I had a different job every other month. No lie. I promise you, whatever paid my bills in January did not pay my bills in February, and vice versa in March as well. Like, I was the professional side hustle ambassador, okay? I was editing, I was doing all the apps, I worked with Airbnb, I can't even remember all the different jobs that I had, but you can ask people. I know how to find a dollar, okay? And not only that, I had enough to pay my bills, but I wasn't like balling, you know? I was paying rent, I was buying groceries, I was, you know, living the life, maintaining my lifestyle, but I didn't have a bunch of money, like, at all. But I was probably the brokest I had ever been, but I was experiencing life. I was traveling. At this time, I was traveling. I went to Thailand, I went to the Philippines, China, Belize, I went to Puerto Rico, I went to Costa Rica, Guatemala. I went all throughout the United States, Atlanta. I went back and forth to Florida so many times. I went to North Carolina, Washington, D.C. multiple times, Texas, and so many places. Like, the way that I was traveling, you would have thought that I had stacks in the bank. And it was more like, what do you call a couple hundred? That is not a stack. I had a mini stack, okay? And I was going everywhere with my mini stack. It was God, like, blowing my socks off. Like, I was in a season of discovery, of experiences, of travel, of just freedom. I just loved it. It was my year of faith and boldness and new exploits. It was phenomenal. I took my first dance class there. I met celebrities. I just had so much favor. It was supernatural. Like, I cannot even explain. Like, if I told some stories, you would be like, that doesn't happen. And it did. It happened for me. I was the brokest, richest person. Like, I don't know how I survived, but it happened. I had provision and it worked. Moving to LA is really where I learned to have faith, and how I learned how to open doors with my faith. There is some things that if you do not believe and have that boldness, the door will remain shut. And I have really tapped into that and learned how to do it. And it's crazy when I look back and think like that was the best 2 years of my life. Let me tell you, it was amazing. And to think that I could have stayed in fear. I could have stayed in Florida, and I don't know where I would be, honestly. You know, I'm sure I probably would be alive, you know, I don't know. But I don't know what type of mindset, what type of anything. I really don't know, but I know I wouldn't have had that. I became a new person after I lived in LA. Honestly, my worldview, even my faith grew. Not just my faith as far as the courage, but my faith in God grew. My focus, I became more open-minded. I think I was more closed-minded in Florida, but I'm like, I don't know, just everything changed when I moved to LA. And so if you are someone contemplating making a move or quitting your job, starting a business, I really want to encourage you because it definitely can be done. I have done it over and over, and I have coached so many women and a few men of how to do it as well, and to just jump out, take that leap of faith, and they are thriving. They are walking in their purpose. So if that is you, I do have a program. It is called the Faith Move Project, and it is a small group of women, and I really devote a lot of time into you. And I also have a online portal where there are many videos to really encourage you, and we have weekly calls to really hone in on your situation and help you through it. So if that sounds like something that may interest you, as well as worksheets, as well as so many resources to help move you along, if you're interested in that, please see the link in the description. If you have any questions regarding the program or how you need help from me, my email is down below. Please reach out to me and I am here to help. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you later. Bye.